Hello there, YouTubers. This is CD Mangaka. Today we're going to be doing a pretty basic commentary. It is going to be a Thresh ranked gameplay analysis review. So I got the VOD right here. Well, it's not actually VOD. It's the replay information already saved up. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the match history for the game, and I'm going to switch away from my cool little overlay here. And we're going to look at my build for Thresh this game. I'm just going to make sure that my volume levels are pretty good for this one. My other take was a little loud in terms of gameplay, so anyways, we should all be good there. So while the game goes on and kind of gets into the laning phase, let's go ahead and just look at my build for this game. So playing Thresh, you can kind of tell by the scoreboard, it's a pretty big stomp. Like the enemy doesn't even get a single objective. So gold chart, spoilers, oh well. So my build for Thresh goes like this. I'll take E first because I like the more reliable application of Flay rather than the risky Q throw. Because if you miss the Q, then you don't have any pressure until earlier. Whereas if an enemy oversteps, you can hit them with the Flay. It'll be up in like 8 seconds again, and it also gives you the extra bonus damage on your attacks. So that's always like a really nice thing to do. I just prefer it. It's a little safer. Unless you're going for an invade, then I would take the Q for the death sentence. My runes this game are going to be armor quints, attack damage reds, health per level yellows, and magic resist blues. These two make me pretty tanky to whatever damage I'm going to be up against. This lets me scale a little more freely into the mid late game, and then this gives me just a little increased lane harass. My masteries are 0, 15, 15. I usually go 0, 16, 14, but I've been adjusting my mastery page, so I'm putting 2 points into Summoner's Insight to get increased cooldown on my Summoner spells. That way I have more flashers and exhausts I can use. Movement speed's always good, mana regen's always good, increased lane sustain with the pots, all the gold income that I need to have reliable starting gold, and then all the essentials in defense right here. So I picked these flat points right here of armor and magic resist because it's going to give me more resistances up front, make me tankier in the early game. And because I'm on a support gold income, I'm not going to have as much extra resistances coming from this one. If you look at the enemy Vel'Koz support actually in his build, he actually goes 21 to 7, and he picks up this. This is like the worst thing you could do if you're going to build straight AP, because in order to get 5 points of either resistance out of this mastery, you have to build 100 of that. So basically, that Vel'Koz have to go full tank, and you don't build Vel'Koz full tank. And as a support, you're just not going to have that much income coming in. So this is a bad pickup. Don't do this, kids. He should have gotten block instead, or just gone all out in the utility tree. Maybe have dropped some of the offensive tree and picked up some of the defense just because I like my supports being a little tankier. You're going to see that even though I get poked out by this Vel'Koz a lot, my innate tankiness is just going to let me kind of shoulder on through it, and we're going to be okay. So I'm using LOL summoner information to record this. And without further ado, let's go ahead, just get into the game. So, starting in the level 1, please do this. Please go ahead and scout. I place a trinket down here. This is the usual route I always do. I run out of base, I come up through here, I place a trinket there, and then I go into the tri-bush. Please, if you're bottom lane, scout out the level 1 jungle, please, for your jungler's sake. That way you know if someone's going to get invaded, or you can see it coming earlier, and that way nobody dies at a bot lane that just walked, sat on a tower, and then I, playing as mid, stupidly face-checked this red, and the enemy happened to be in there. Please scout ahead. Just a little public service announcement. So this game I'm going to primarily be focusing on some playstyle with Thresh, as well as a bit of the lane matchup. What my team did, we'll break down some team fights as we go through. We start off with the standard leash. We go into the lane, and it's going to kind of just play out the way that it's going to play out. I'm just making sure that my game volume is completely minimized. So while this just plays out, because not a whole lot happens in this early level, let's go ahead and break down our teams. We have a pretty late game scaling team comp. Graves is a mid power spiking ADC, so he's going to fall off in terms of damage at 30 minutes. But the enemy team isn't too tanky. Jax will get tanky at some point. Udyr can get pretty tanky as well. Diana will as well. But Vel'Koz and Corki would be pretty squishy, so he's actually going to be really good for our bottom lane. Renekton is going to be able to duel against Jax, kind of bully him out. It's pretty much a skill matchup. My brother, I think he gives the edge over to Renekton. How you play it. So here, this little trade right here like illuminates it. So if you've been watching the laning phase here, I'm gonna switch to manual cam so the camera's not moving all over following me from now on. Graves and I get pretty chunked. We return her harass onto Corki as well. That's one thing that you try to do whenever against a poke lane is just make sure you retaliate. So Vel'Koz mispositions here. His ADC is all the way back here farming, and he steps up here for poke. So I throw my death sentence, and I get the hit onto him. And then Graves immediately comes on over, and we harass him. This is basically a 2v1 right now. Corki comes on in. He gets one auto attack off on him, but we get a Q, we get a Flay, we get my auto, we get Graves' auto, we get his buckshot, and his W. And Vel'Koz throws a stun behind me, thinking I just retreat, but I'm just like, I read it, so, and I can walk towards him. I'm not punished at all by this. So there you go. Graves, however, keeps getting hit by Corki Q. He just got hit a lot. So even though, like, I'm being poked down, like, really hard, I still got a 1 biscuit left. I have 400 health. Vel'Koz is burned through all of his pots. I don't know how many he started with. Should have been like 3. And he's at 200 health. So even though that he's been consistently poking me, due to the fact that I just have more tankiness in my rune page and mastery page than he does, he's a lot more punished by that one mistake. So the enemy team doesn't really have a lot of gauge. Like, it's pretty much Diana going in, and then while Diana and Jax dive our back line, Vel'Koz is going to try to ult from the back, which it's not going to do a whole lot because he's building because he support this game. Graves is forced to burn heal right here. We get poked out. Yeah, it's just kind of rough. I'm going to go ahead and just speed this up. Udyr should be focusing on peeling for the Corki. Vel'Koz and Corki will basically be poking until we try and go all in. But Xerath is going to get really far ahead this game, and he's also going to serve as our poke answer to them. So Sejuani's going to be able to have really hard engage to deny them that, whereas they don't really have that hard engage. Like, Jax has to come in for a flank, or Diana has to get close enough to use her ultimate. Renekton, myself, talk about this in a moment. Renekton, myself, and Xerath have a lot of pick potential along with Sejuani, so if someone gets caught out, we can have a lot of CC that we can chain very easily. So, anyway, so right here, I want to look at how I throw this death sentence, actually, to understand why it hit. So, Graves is forced to back, and now he comes back with a longsword and 2 pots, and Graves is out of pots. So right now, even though Graves is a little bit behind in XP, like Corki's going to hit level 3, or 4, excuse me. Graves is pretty early on into that. I'm level 4, so this is going to help me out just a bit. Graves is 2 pots over Corki, so he has more sustain, he has more health. And he's got 90 AD as opposed to Corki's 85 AD, so barely ahead of him in terms of damage. So they're trading. Vel'Koz rotates up here. I throw my hook up towards them. This is actually like good on me because they group right here together and they're not behind their minion waves. Vel'Koz should have been like right behind the minion waves, but because Vel'Koz has to like approach around the minion wave to fire off his Qs at us, which is what he was trying to do here, I'm able to throw this Q at him and hit him. It would have hit him or Corki. A lot of room for that. So we hit him, and let's see how long he lasts. So Graves throws down his W to blind Vel'Koz while I keep him within it. So I Q in, I flay him. Vel'Koz cannot see where Graves is, so you're going to see he's going to just drop all of his spells onto me. I kite up to avoid this. Graves is just going to get some auto attacks. Graves dashes in. He actually misses the auto onto Vel'Koz for the kill, so I have to take it. But I exhaust Corki right here so that as Corki, or Graves, excuse me, is bathing in Corki's damage, he's not going to take too much. Right here, I do have Flash, so I throw my Lantern trying to get Graves to catch up. Had I flashed right here, my Flay was going to be up. That's in 3 seconds. We could have done that. Corki would have been forced to burn Flash and maybe heal. But I keep my Flash and we just chunk him. So we could have been more aggressive. I could have taken Corki's Flash for mine. Vel'Koz uses Flash. Vel'Koz has exhaust though. So even though we got this kill, Vel'Koz is going to have exhaust for the next fight. And I actually want to see how much gold Vel'Koz has. He had 1,000 gold. How much did he die with? Because he goes back and he buys... Okay, yeah, he barely had enough of the Frostfang. I would have pursued... If I was in Vel'Koz's case, rather than dumping my 500 gold into the Frostfang for more poke, I would have gotten a Sightstone. Not a Sightstone. The Ruby Crystal to be a little tankier. And then like a couple wards to protect from ganks, because Sejuani has some really powerful ganks. So that's how that played out. I pick up a Sightstone with my kill advantage. There we go. I got a Sightstone, keep the Relic Shield, get anything, get my red. So I go roam to play some wards down. Even though we can see that they're in this 2v2 lane, my ADC plays back, and I go establish this vision. If you're playing a support, one of the main things you want to do is go, okay, whenever I'm not needed in my lane, I want to go roam and get vision down. Because I went and did that, we see Udyr taking Scuttle, We have vision of him, and we know he's bottom side. So this is important for my team because now Renekton can go play aggressive top. In fact, he does that. Xerath knows where... I mean, everyone knows where Udyr is, so this gives a lot of information. I didn't need to be in this lane immediately because they were coming back from the recent trade and all that. So whenever you have downtime and you're not needed in lane for your ADC, go get vision down. Where an ADC is going to get a kill and push a tower to deny the enemy CS, you should be roaming to get wards if you have them. Anyways, we see Udyr, and this is another great thing. So my wards actually spot out this sneaky Dragon Temp by Udyr, and he's forced to back off. So I position here aggressively. Graves is going to get some farm. I hit Corki. It's a pink ward battle. Use my lantern. Pinging to make sure Graves comes on up. We barely avoid the poke. He's getting chunked, though. Thing is, now Corki has a sustain and item advantage because he's got a Ruby Crystal and a longsword, so... And Graves just keeps taking those Qs, like, I don't understand. I think Corki times his Qs when Grave goes for a last hit so that he can't dodge it. I'm saying I don't think so. I'm okay tanking some of Vel'Koz's shots at this point, just make sure Graves doesn't get lower on health. Mid's going well. It's just a pretty fair trade. I'm going to turn off the items right now because we don't need to see it. Yeah, so Sejuani pings that she's coming down. And one thing I always like to do is, when you're on blue side, is get this pink ward right here so that my jungler has a secure access to the lane. So if you look at their vision, the earliest they're going to see yours here rather than here. So now it's on me to go get an engage. Now this gank is actually kind of risky because we don't have any vision up in this area, and we're still pushing here. But Sejuani coming down here when we don't have vision it's good for us. So if Udyr was looking for a gank, we'd be countering it. Renekton's top side, he should get more vision. Xerath's back, so Sejuani really doesn't have to do anything but come on bot. So, and she comes through lane, and see, this is why it's actually really smart jungle pathing. So instead of going through here where they're likely going to have territory, she's going to come through lane. So, but instead of just like running into the tri-bush, she's just coming through, so I immediately have to go aggressive. So I flash ult, and I catch Vel'Koz with it, and look how much that chunks him. Like, look at that damage, because he doesn't have any resistances. But I should have flayed immediately, actually. I would have knocked Corki out his Valkyrie, and he would have been forced to flash. So that's a bit of a misplay. So Sejuani takes the Lantern, I flay Vel'Koz back, and he's just going to die. I land this Death Sentence onto Corki. We followed up with a stun. And this forces Corki to use Flash and Heal. So really good gank. We got a kill. We burned Vel'Koz's Exhaust, and we took Corki's Summoners. Now I'm going to roam, establish more vision down that ward that they had just died. And you can immediately see that because Dragon is going to be our next objective, I established this vision perimeter here. And with his vision perimeter, we see Udyr coming. I get some harass onto him. My team should just keep focusing Dragon. Corey's going to come up. This fight for the enemy team is really bad. I missed this hook, but we poke them out. Diana comes in 1v3, like, thinking she can do that. No. It forces my exhaust. It forces Grave Summoners as well, so that's something for her. But then she loses her Flash. And her exhaust was on cooldown. Like, there was no reason to go in there. She should have just backed off. Kept on farming, because she's already behind. And it was like, no, there's too much CC for her to deal with. So now, Graves and I go bot lane. And immediately, I get my level 7, and I back here to pick up my... I decide what to buy for a moment. I get my mobility boots first, because I want to roam, get that vision down, and then I pick up coin. I help my ADC to lane using my lantern. Always do that, kids. Like, see, the Moby boots lets me... If Graves had taken the lantern right there, he would have gotten the lane like right on time. So I tried to tell Xerath to back off because I know it was warded. I actually watched Vel'Koz's rotations from the lane because it's pretty easy to predict where they're going to ward. So like I saw Vel'Koz here, he moved up here, so I know that he's going to take this time to ward this. So because like Xerath didn't know that, he just comes on down and they're already backing off. Vel'Koz sweeps. And Sejuani and Xerath are going for pick. Sejuani forces this gank, which it's like, no. I go for... I try to make it happen, but nah. We needed to get a hook down, and she needed to wait for us to go in, or do the same route that she did before, which was go through lane. Anyways, so right here, we do this invade on their ward, so be aware of that. We don't know that, but based on their movement, I can figure that out. So after we get this pressure here, I don't just stay in lane, I immediately translate this into jungle pressure. So I get a ward here, and I get a ward on this side. So now we have more vision of Udyr, and we have more information to work with. So we do this blue. Vel'Koz and Corki come on over. Xerath comes in. And I mean, like... The thing is, like, with Vel'Koz as a support, I like it a lot, but this playstyle is just bad. Like, he's going up and trying to engage when he's really squishy. Like, he's basically an underfed mid laner with the way he's built. So, we do get chunked, but, you know, we delete that. We lock the CC. Graves joins us, and Sejuani picks up a double kill. So, it's like, what are you going to do, kid? I mean, he walked right into my death sentence. It was pretty easy to hit. Translate that into bottom pressure. We see Udyr coming. He's trying to clear the wave. Then he comes on up, and then we just kill him. Take his flash. There's no reason for Udyr to come do that. He doesn't have... He didn't have any wave clear, and he wasn't even Phoenix stance for him. He's going Tiger this game. So there was no reason for him to be there. Pick up Nomads. I think I buy a pink. What am I doing? You know, I wait for the Forbidden Idol. Get some CC going. I want Talisman of Ascension first. Okay. So we see them coming in, and now look at all what this roaming has done. This roaming and this pressure, it's given us vision here. That's my ward, and that's my ward. Like, if Udyr comes anywhere near bot lane, we'll see it a mile away. And Dragon's coming up in a minute 34. These wards are going to expire by then, so I need to reestablish this vision. Anyways, we come back in. Sejuani, oh, she's camping bot lane really hard this game because there's nowhere else that she needs to go. Like, if you look at the scoreboard, Xerath is 6-1-2 against this 2-5 Diana. Like, what the hell is Diana going to do to him? Renekton is also doing really well, and he just backed, so there doesn't need to be anything. So Sejuani just immediately comes down for another gank. And, like, they don't have their tower, and they're pushed up all the way out here. And if we look at their vision control, like, they just got that here. Like, if we just... That's all they have. So they don't have any vision here. They don't have any wards in here. Because we're being aggressive with our vision, Vel'Koz is just forced. He has all of his wards down, and here are his sends. I'm forcing this Vel'Koz to place his wards defensively rather than in the riverbed to be more up front. So I flash Flay, Vel'Koz flashes. I throw this Death Sentence in front of Corki, so he's forced to dodge back. I exhaust him for the slow. He's forced to use his summoners. I exhaust him right here just to make sure he doesn't have any retaliation damage. Vel'Koz tries to ult, but we have CC to disrupt him. We actually don't get this kill. And here we go. We got this vision here, so we see Diana and we see Udyr coming down. Now, Sejuani goes back in for this kill on the Vel'Koz, which really isn't worth. She gives up her shutdown gold to Udyr, gives double buffs to him. We could have just disengaged. So anyways, we come through, we sweep this. Udyr places another ward down. So forcing that vision. Let's go ahead and reactivate vision on our side. Then I take this time, go clear out this red. Ward of theirs. Renekton's just styling on Jax at this point. And I back. Because I'm at quarter health, I need to refresh my wards, and Graves is pretty much fine right here. He's got vision to see anyone flanking him. Because they don't have like a jungler with a gap closer, he can't jump this wall, so he has to come down this way. So Graves gets a free back. He actually, watch this. Like, he just misses him. It was pretty funny. So Dragon is up. Problem is, we don't have vision, so I begin to scope out vision. So I place a ward in the pit to see if they're doing it. They just place a pink. I come around here to place this ward down into this brush. And Sejuani's got my back. Meanwhile, Xerath is basically being a human ward mid lane. We see Udyr and Diana here. So we know that they're here, and Jax is nowhere to be seen. We can assume he's topside. So Xerath shouldn't be pushed up that far without support, because he just dies. But him lets us take this pink ward out and get more vision control over Dragon. So if we compare vision, control of the area. They got this one ward here. That's actually smart of them to place that there underneath their pink. They got a ward there. So they got, I would say, I would give the vision edge to them because they, it's actually kind of neutral. Nobody has like advanced vision on each other. There's more defensive. But anyways, there's no reason for them to be contesting this. Like, Udyr's coming down. Diana decides to push mid while she's this low health. Like, there's no way they could test this. Jax is too low to TP in. Diana's pretty low from getting chunked by Xerath. Udyr is at half health. And our Graves has IE, whereas Corki doesn't even have, like, an Infinity Edge. So we will win this fight. They try and do Scuttle. Sejuani hides in the brush. She throws the ultimate onto Udyr. I throw my stun. And we go engage on him. So their smite's out of the way. We get slowed. And here we go. And now Renekton, our top laner, can TP in. Now we miss these couple spells, and we get stopped by Vel'Koz stun. Graves flashes for this kill, and we get it. So it's kind of nice. Give my lantern over to him. But there you go. And now they contested objective when they were too far behind in a even fight that they couldn't win because of gold. Even man fight. And then Corki comes over here, and he just gets wrecked by Gator. And we take Dragon. Like, they're choosing really bad times to contest this. Like, it's only our second dragon. They could have given it up, taken more farm. Instead, they fed us more kills, along with the dragon. So, they needed to get like a pick or something. So, my positioning here, actually, see how far forward Xerath is, and see that Lantern interaction? That's why I'm playing so far back. I'm chunked, so I don't want to be the front line and get caught out because I could die. But because Xerath is playing the front line, I'm going to play behind him and use my Lantern to give him, like, disengage and let him zone. Anyways, we rotate through the jungle, we catch a Diana, and we kind of do a bad job of chaining the CC. We layer it, but it still does a job. I kite back because my cooldowns are exhausted, and I'll make sure that I can offer a Lantern for peel. So, Diana tries to go in on me because she just wants to kill me, but she's exhausted. I use my Talisman of Ascension to disengage, and then I completely negate Jax's teleport with my ultimate. So he's got no movement speed, and then he's coming into 2 full health fed carries while he's way behind. There's no reason to TP into that. They're just like feeding at this point. I land a hook on a Corki, and that forces him to Valkyrie Ray, and we get more poke, and this gives us red. But like you can immediately saw that I didn't need to tank the damage there. Sejuani will be able to tank the damage for me, and I was going to die otherwise, so I just kite back. I land the spells that I need to, and then I kite back. Like, we don't really need to use the ultimate just yet. And then with my Talisman of Ascension active, I just give myself the disengage to keep baiting these out and to get away. And then I come over here to re-engage the fight. Zone Corki a little bit, like he sees me, but he's forced to disengage, so. This game is pretty much a slaughter. I'm just going to speed it up. I go back, I pick up, I'm working towards Aegis into Iron Locket. I pick up the Kindle Gem for more cooldown, and I get the Oracle's Lens. I got it at some point, actually. So right here, I use this to try and catch up to Xerath, but that didn't happen. So with Dragon gone, our next objective is Baron, so I throw a ward on this side. I go sweep our jungle, see if they got any deep vision. With that done, I throw a ward here. The god. Anyways, that was stupid. So we try and siege up here. Our comp is pretty weak at sieging unless we have Xerath up, actually. Graves is short range, and he's the only other range we have. Anyways, Vel'Koz like overextends for poke right here, and it's like you got no reason to be there. Sejuani, this is post Sejuani nerf, so I think it's 5.6. So like, we just get more vision here, and we take Vel'Koz's Summoner. Like, he's trying to poke from this side when he's in no place to. I stay here to zone back Udyr, and now with my hook down, it's like, okay, I gotta disengage from my boys. I'm holding on the Talisman until I feel like we really need it. So let's just look at this fight. So Vel'Koz oversteps right here. He doesn't have vision. He's got vision there, but he can assume that we're waiting right here. And, like, Sejuani's staying right there. Come on, she's got to have backup. But he's, like... He's so far ahead of his team when he is so squishy. Like, if this was Leona, it would be okay, but because it's not a tanky support, he just gets wrecked. And so Xerath actually uses his time to ult Vel'Koz, takes the kill. So he's down. This is now 2v3. I throw down my ultimate, and with Udyr slowed and my team back here, I use the Talisman of Ascension. And I kite this way, kind of corralling him up here. And he just dies, and then we just... get the slow on a Corki, I get a death sentence, and yeah, he tries to flash and heal out. He should have just saved him at that point. And then I get to clear vision. Yeah, no, this game is just a slaughter. I get 2 wards for that. So with me picking up the early oracles, I'm able to just set them so far behind. Because they're so far behind, they can't invest a whole lot in vision. So with me playing such a heavy counter vision game, they're like, they're dead. So like, here's our vision. Like, we can see pretty much their whole blue jungle. That ward's getting swept right now. You look at their vision... That's it. So, it really sucks to be them right now. So, and I get the magic resistance next. We got a fight going on up here. Like, here's how powerful our pick is. This is a good example of it. So, Xerath is poking them down. They're trying to siege up right now, but they got, like, very little range, and they haven't poked us out. Xerath lands this stun on Jax, and then Renekton immediately goes in, chains the stun. So Jack gets pretty much eviscerated from the fight before he even has a chance to participate. Vel'Koz uses ult on Renekton when honestly he should have been hitting these guys because they're squishier. They'll do more damage. And then Corki gets way too close to this Renekton, like trying to kill him, and then we're just able to CC him and eviscerate them. I missed that hook. So then I'm forced to do this. So I have my flash up. I throw my lantern back. Someone's going to take it. There we go. Lantern tricks, kids. Lantern tricks with Thresh. They're really good. Take that, sweep their jungle, establish more vision control. We take mid. I'm just gonna keep the game fast forwarded. They try to engage. I have a pretty bad ultimate, in all honesty. Jack's mispositions here. It's a scattered fight. And I mean, they're just like, we're so ahead that we could win these really scattered fights. It's a 20k gold lead. There's honestly like not much point in analyzing this anymore. We take the 2 bases, the 2 inhibitors. We take Dragon. And here, I might as well just do this. Like, yeah, they just get bodied. So like this is at the end of the game. We took a Baron. We come up here for this top inhibitor. And then we're just stomping them at 27 minutes. Not much else to write home about. I do get my 1 death of the game row right here. Taking these towers, and I cried a little bit. I'm like, no, I was supposed to be flawless, but a 25 KDA, I'll take it. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys picked up some analysis on things to look for in Thresh gameplay, namely like positioning, as well as some character building, you know, kind of like a warning against using really squishy supports and positioning aggressively with them. As well as some vision control. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching this. This is CD Mangaka signing out.